What's up guys, I thought I'd start today's video with a nice beginner-friendly tournament guide. So on Reddit, on Facebook, things like that, you'll see a lot of people going, I'm going to my first tournament, what do I need to know, what do I need to bring, and so on. So to take a little bit of that mystery out of it, I'll walk you through some of the things that I bring or that I know that other people bring to tournaments with them. This is very much for beginners, but maybe an experienced player will see something that they hadn't considered before. So hopefully you find this useful. Let's dive into the bag. First things first, and the most obvious and the most necessary, is to bring decks with you. One runner, one corp. This will be mandatory to actually participate in the tournament, so make sure you don't forget. Go through it the night before, make sure everything is legal, make sure you have all your cards and everything like that. I'd also recommend bringing spare sleeves with you. Nothing too extreme, just a handful of them, just in case the worst happens and one of your deck sleeves splits. You don't have to go through the whole process of buying an entire new set or borrowing some from other players. You can just slot them into these and work away as normal. As you can see, I also have dice. I don't use them for credits as I find them a bit awkward, a bit unwieldy, but I use them for Katie Jones, tags if it comes to that, markers like that. Next up is credits, tag tokens, brain tokens, all that good jazz. Credits are one of the few things that players can't actually share because you pretty much have enough to cover yourself. That's about it. However, a lot of players will hand out, virus tokens, tags, only too willing to give you tags, or bad pub as necessary. Even though I have nice little custom credits, which I'll show off here, if it'll focus. There we go. Got these from a woodworker in America. Even though I have them, I still bring the basic bag of credits and tokens and things like that with me. I do use these credits for pretty much everything, virus tokens, advancement tokens, everything like that, but sometimes it's better to use the base ones that come with the game. Obviously custom tokens aren't something that you need to walk into tournaments with. They are just a nice little touch though. You might like to personalize your game a little bit, or maybe you like something a little bit fancier. Another optional but somewhat useful accessory is to come up with a playmat. Again, not necessary by any means. In my first couple of tournaments, when I was doing okay but kind of on the cusp, part of me liked not having a playmat because there was that psychological element to it where players would have their worlds or regionals or store championship playmats and you'd have nothing at all, and they might think, well, this guy's a bit of a pushover, and then you show otherwise. Now, Irish players who might watch this might think this is a bit rich of me, but bring a deck list with you, preferably written up. I say it's rich of me to do it because I am usually the person who is scribbling decks down at the last possible second. This is pretty much what I'm known for more than anything else in my Netrunner game. There's a couple of good reasons to have it done in advance. One, you're less likely to change your decks, which means you can't go through that whole uncertainty process. You'll have things locked in, you'll be confident in your decks, and you'll be ready to go. Second, this is also a nice time saver. You appear at the venue, you can just chill out, can down, chat with friends, all that kind of stuff. You can enjoy the day as opposed to having to hope you get internet connection to check your decks or go through card by card, all that kind of stuff as well. So have it written, save yourself the heartache, take it from me. So that kind of stuff was a bit obvious, but I also like to bring my food with me, so nothing too fancy, like protein bars, things like that, banana. Don't know why you need to see a banana, you probably know what it looks like already. But you basically need just a little pick-me-up to get you throughout the day, something to tide you over between meals or between rounds is always good. Nothing too big, nothing too fancy, definitely nothing too messy. Similarly, I like to bring water with me, 1 or 2 litres usually. I do drink quite a bit of water. Did get in trouble before. One of the stores didn't like the fact that I was rocking on in with my own water. May have been the fact that it was a 1.5 or 2 litre bottle of water, probably a little too obvious. So either buy it there or go prepared, but don't make it too obvious that you've brought it in from outside. It's a long day, you want to be comfortable, you want to be able to perform without the distraction of being hungry or being dehydrated, starting to get a bit of a headache, anything like that. On that note, one of our Dublin players did end up with a splitting headache before going into top 4 double elimination, which just extends the day further, and if your head is pounding, if it's killing you, you're not going to be able to focus on the decisions, you're going to be uncomfortable every step of the way. So maybe it's good to bring Panadol or headache tablets, something to get you over that if disaster does strike. One of my friends actually brings toilet paper or toilet roll with him to tournaments as well in game shops. I think it's a great idea. You never know quite how well they're going to be stocked and you don't want to be caught out, so as the scouts would say, always be prepared. If you're not comfortable or confident enough to walk through a store with some toilet paper in hand, maybe invest in some pocket-sized tissues, wet wipes, things like that. The last thing to bring to a tournament is a good attitude. Now, as cheesy as that sounds, it's actually a pretty good tip, I think. Whether you win or lose, you should be gracious throughout the day. This is a good day out. It's, a bit of fun, a good chance to catch up with friends, people who are into the same interests as you, and you don't want to be that guy who ruins it for everyone. As Will Wheaton would say, don't be a dick. So that's it for what I bring to tournaments. If you have anything in particular that you think would be handy, useful to share, please let me know in the comment section below. And now on to the rest of the video, which, confusingly enough, because I already know this, starts with me talking about how I hadn't shot anything for this week. So, enjoy that. What's up guys, it is Thursday morning, and this is the first thing that I'm shooting for this week's video. Thursday, I hear you ask. Don't you release videos on Tuesdays and Fridays? Yes, and thank you for promoting the fact that I do release videos on those days, and that you should come back to the channel on Tuesdays and Fridays to see what's new. So what happened was, I was travelling with work yesterday, figured I'd make the best of a bad situation, and bring the camera with me, record shots of me listening to podcasts, of me just walking around on a plane, listening to Henry Cavill struggle with an auto cue, but it wasn't to be. Turned on the camera, got a message to say, put in micro SD card. So one thing I did want to mention yesterday is listening to podcasts when I was walking around, listening to The Winning Agenda number 77. I would definitely recommend checking it out. They had the creator of the Dumblefork deck. If you're not keeping up with the ridiculous names of decks, that is the one with Wizard, Cutlery, Faust, all that good jazz. But he goes through like the strengths and weaknesses of the deck. Not so much the weaknesses, because obviously he wants to keep it strong, but things that you can catch out players who aren't so familiar with the deck with, in terms of ice placement, things like that. And it's a really interesting watch. You should definitely check it out if you're playing it and struggling with like the asset spam kind of thing, or if you just want to see how the deck works. One of the advantages of my job is that I can occasionally work from home. It's very convenient, very handy. This week that means working from Limerick, because a group of friends and I are playing Pandemic Legacy. We've only one game behind us so far, and no spoilers about the game itself, but really enjoying it, liking the subtleties to it so far and how it can change the game. That's all I'll say. Good week for us. Democracy in Dogma is out. Did my smuggling job again, but at least this won't land me in a prison cell in Peru. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Sorry it's a little bit late by my own self-imposed deadlines. Hopefully the beginner's guide to tournaments and packing a tournament bag is helpful to you. If it is, please share it around. And I'll catch you again Tuesday with another episode. Bye guys.